what can I say? I'm a sucker for coming of age movies, especially the ones I can relate to. Hey everybody, I'm back. Like once again, I am back. Um yeah, sorry it's been a while since I've posted anything, maybe about 2 weeks, but it feels like it's been longer than that. I've been sick, but I'm back now. I feel a lot better. Um Not 100%, but I would say about 90%. I think I'm well enough to do videos again, so here I am. I'm back. All right, so welcome to another review, and today I'll be reviewing Eighth Grade. Yes, Eighth Grade. This movie came out in 2018 and was written and directed by comedian Bo Burnham, and it stars Elsie Fisher and Josh Hamilton. All right, so Eighth Grade. Yeah, okay. Eighth Grade. This movie I put on my watch list because I heard that it was a good coming of age movie, and as I said in the intro, I love coming of age movies. And I've reviewed a bunch of coming of age movies on this channel. Those of you who are subscribed to me know that most likely y'all know that I love coming of age movies. So I had to put this one on here, but I had to say I was a little bit nervous going into this movie because I thought that this was going to be another Booksmart, to be honest. Like, I honestly thought this was going to be another Booksmart. So I wasn't sure if I was going to like this movie or not. Because those of you who don't know, I did do a review of Booksmart. If you have seen that review, you know that I was not a fan of Booksmart. I really did not like Booksmart. Honestly, that's probably the worst coming-of-age high school movie I have ever seen. If you like the movie, that's fine. And I apologize, but I really could not stand that movie. And I thought this movie was going to be a little bit similar to that, but fortunately, it wasn't. I watched it last night, and it surprised me. This is a really good film. This movie really surprised me of how really good it was, and again, thankfully, it wasn't like Booksmart. So yeah, this is the complete opposite of Booksmart. This is what I would want Booksmart. I would want Booksmart to be more like this. But the difference between this and Booksmart is that this is an independent film. And also an A24 film. See, when I saw A24 at the beginning of this film, I'm like, okay, alright then, this might be good. Because A24 is a very good movie company. They're like the new Miramax. Miramax was in the 90s. Miramax, despite having Harvey Weinstein, yeah, but just take away that, Miramax was like the best film company to produce independent films. I mean, you had a bunch of great films in the 90s that were produced by Miramax, like Pulp Fiction, Good Will Hunting, Trainspotting, Clerks. And it was just the best, honestly, in my opinion, like the best just film company in the 90s, because those movies I just mentioned, they were the best movies of the 90s, and they were all produced by Miramax. And A24, like I said, is like the new Miramax. They produce like the best independent films of the modern era of cinema. Ever since the last decade, they've produced so many great films. I reviewed a couple A24 films on the channel, like I reviewed Lady Bird and Swiss Army Man and mid-90s. So I was happy I was really happy when I saw the A24 logo at the beginning of this film. I'm like, okay, this might be good. Then this will probably be a good film. But anyways, back to like I was saying, this is an independence film, and Booksmart is more like a Hollywood movie. So yeah, this was 10 times better in Booksmart, and I was not disappointed. I really enjoyed this film a lot. So, all right, eighth grade. I'll talk a little bit about it. So, eighth grade is about a eighth grader, hence the title, whose name is KAYLA, and she is played by Elsie Fisher, who is an actress I'm not too familiar with. I know she voiced one of the girls in Despicable Me, but other than that, I'm not too familiar with her. And she's just like this eighth grader who does YouTube videos. She does YouTube videos, and she gives advice about like how to be yourself and how to be confident and stuff like that. But outside of her videos, the real her, she is kind of that person that she tells people not to be. She is a socially awkward, shy teenager. And that's basically what it is. It's just showing her, her who she is, and her life in eighth grade, as she's about to finish eighth grade. She doesn't have a whole lot of friends. Like I said, she's socially awkward. And also she has a difficult relationship with her dad as well. Her mom's not in the picture. It's just her dad raising her. So that's basically, I guess, all I can say. It's a simple story. Not really much of a story. But yeah, that's basically it. Just her trying to be a better person. Trying to make friends and stuff. So yeah. So all right. So yeah, like I said, this was a great film. I'm not too familiar with the director Bo Burnham. This is so far his only directorial film. He hasn't really done anything else. He did do a movie like last year, I think, which was called Bo Burnham Inside, which is kind of a documentary, sort of, but I don't know. It sounds kind of interesting. I kind of want to check it out. I don't know if I'll review it, but it sounds kind of interesting, and it's just about him like being like just by himself, in the in the COVID world and stuff. It sounds really interesting, but I don't know if I would count that as like a movie that he's done, but he did do that movie. But this is his first and only like actual film, not like a documentary or whatever. Yeah, I don't know much about him. All I know that he's a comedian and also a musician as well. I might need to check him out. I might need to check out his comedy, his stand-up and his music. I might do that, but yeah, but I have to say, one of the best things about this movie, though, is his direction and his writing. Just by watching this movie, I could tell that there's something really special about this guy, about Bo Burnham. And it's really interesting that he wrote not just a coming-of-age movie, but a coming-of-age movie in the perspective of a young girl instead of a boy. That's really interesting that he did that. But yeah, that's one of the positives I have for this film. Or some of the positives. It's very well written and very well directed by Bo Burnham. One of my favorite thing about this movie is the cinematography. I love the cinematography of this film. It's very handheld. Very handheld. The camera is very. For like most of the scenes, it's handheld. I could tell like there's some scenes where the camera was kind of shaking like a little bit slowly. You could tell that it was filmed on a handheld camera. Um, but and I really like the tracking shots too. There's some really good tracking shots, and I like how the movie looks too. The color palette and stuff. It's really cool. Um, you could definitely tell that this is an independent film. It almost kind of looks like a documentary in some parts, because it has like a camera just following KAYLA. A lot of great tracking shots. There are even some like these slow pull out shots that kind of remind me of Stanley Kubrick, that he's done a lot in his films. Kubrick. So yeah, Bo Burnham, he really proved that he can direct, because his direction in this film is really good, and I love the cinematography. Also, of course, the performance by Elsie Fisher as KAYLA. She is really good in this film. I really liked her performance in this movie, and even the character of KAYLA. I liked the character of KAYLA. Yeah, now this movie, this is like I said, I like coming of age movies that I can relate to, and I relate to this film, much like some other coming of age movies that I relate to, like The Edge of 17 and Perks of Being a Wallflower, especially. That's like my favorite coming of age film, and I really relate to that movie. I relate to this one too, but what's kind of weird is that I didn't really relate to this film as, whenever it didn't really remind me of being a teenager or in 8th grade or whatever. Like I didn't relate to that part. It actually reminded me of myself, like now, to be honest, because like I said, the story, KAYLA, she does YouTube videos, and yeah, she does YouTube videos, and she is a socially awkward person, but she is better at talking in her videos, and that's actually exactly how I am. Like I'm really good at talking. I mean, I'm not the best because, as you could tell, I was just struggling a little bit right there just talking. But I do talk better whenever I do my videos than I do to people I know in real life. Like I am really, really awkward in real life. I'm just so much better at doing videos, at talking in my videos, and so is KAYLA. And whenever, like right away when the movie started, and she was like the first scene, she's recording a video. I'm like, this is me. This is how I am. Um, and just like seeing her like just in real life, how she is. She's just so awkward and stuff. I'm like, yeah. This is me, even though I'm not an 8th grade, 13-year-old girl, but still, I really related to this character. Even though, yeah, like I said, I'm 23, and I'm not 13, and I'm not a girl, but I'm not in 8th grade. But I really did relate to this character. So yeah, and I liked the character. I mean, she wasn't a perfect person. She's a teenager. She had her teenage angst, if you will. And she didn't get along too well with her dad because she's a teenager. She don't understand him. He doesn't understand her. Which is also a thing I really enjoyed about this film was the relationship between and the chemistry with the actors too. Let me look at the actor who plays her dad again real quick. Josh Hamilton plays her dad, and his performance was really good. He was really good in this film. I don't know, I'm not familiar with the actor Josh Hamilton, but he was really good, and I liked the chemistry between him and Elsa Fisher, or did I say Elsa? What's her name again? Sorry. Elsie Fisher. Yeah, there we go. Elsie Fisher. I really liked his chemistry with her, and the relationship between the characters, even though it wasn't great, but still, it did kind of remind me of like how I was with my mom. Like wasn't me. I didn't really have the best relationship with my mom, to be honest. Like especially as a teenager, I'm a little better now. Like it's a little bit better now with her, but yeah, I was not, my relationship with my mom wasn't very good whenever I was a teenager. And anyways though, but yeah, it did kind of remind me of that. And so okay, maybe I relate a little bit to that part at least. But I actually relate to the character of Kayla mostly now because of the whole YouTube thing, you know. But anyways, but yeah, like I said, you know, this movie is just very well written, very well directed, very well acted. Love the camera shots and stuff. Even the music was pretty good. Definitely better than Booksmart because I hated the soundtrack to Booksmart. But a lot of it was like electronic stuff, and I digged it. I thought it was cool. I don't know if Bo Burnham did the music or not because he is a musician and he does do like I think electronic kind of music, sort of. So he might have did some of it. I don't know, but it was pretty cool. I liked that. So yeah, you know, I thought this was a great film. There was a little bit of negatives. There is a little bit of negatives I do have with this film. For one thing, I felt like there were some characters in this movie that didn't really do much, honestly. Like one character in particular that didn't do much hardly at all was this boy who was in her class who she had a crush on. Like I mean I liked what they were doing with it at first, you know, but he didn't do much after, like, for a while. He was only like in, I don't know, 3 or 4 scenes, but he didn't do much like for the rest of the film. I think he was like only in maybe one more scene like at the end, like close to the end of the film. But yeah, that character didn't do much at all. I kind of thought that was weird. They didn't do anything with him, you know, toward the end of the film. But yeah, and there's some other characters that you know, I felt like that could have been used a little bit more. And also another problem I have with the film, I felt like this movie was a little too short. I would have liked it if it was a little longer, maybe even 2 hours. No more than 2 hours, but maybe a little bit 2 hours. But you know, it was okay. I mean, I felt like it was paced okay. I just felt like it could have been a little bit longer. But you know, that's pretty much it. I think those are the only things that didn't really click with me very well. I didn't really get, but I didn't really like those parts very much. But other than that, I thought this was a really good movie. It would have been almost a masterpiece if it wasn't for that stuff. But that's why I do kind of have a, well, not a low rating, but yeah, you'll see the rating. But yeah, other than that though, this movie did not disappoint me. I mean, I didn't really have a whole lot of high hopes for it at first, but I really did enjoy this film. And I don't quite love it. It's not up there in my favorite movies, at least at the moment. You know, I still like movies like Perks of Being a Wallflower and Edge of 17 and even Lady Bird. I like those movies better. But this will definitely be up there, like in the top 5 with those movies I just mentioned of my favorite coming of age movies. I would also throw in, even though it's an older movie than those, but Stand By Me. Those are some of my, excuse me, those are my like in my top 5 favorite coming of age movies. Not particularly this order, but I would say. Perks of Being a Wallflower, Edge of 17, Lady Bird, and 8th Grade, and also Stand By Me. Those are like some of my favorite coming of age movies. But yeah, yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite coming of age movies, and just a great movie in general. I really liked it, so I'm gonna go ahead and give it its grade. I'm gonna give eighth grade 4 stars. Yeah, 4 stars. Not, I was actually thinking about giving it 4.5, but I was like, yeah, I don't know. Some of those problems I did have with it were there, and maybe if I honestly, I kind of want to watch it again, like pretty soon. But I don't know. I'm gonna try to get it on either DVD or Blu-ray sometime. But yeah, I really did like this movie. So yeah, 4 stars. That's my rating. All right, there we go. There's my review for eighth grade. So in the comments, tell me, have you seen eighth grade? Have you not? Also, what's your favorite A24 film? I think mine might be Lady Bird. I would say Lady Bird. And either that or Tusk. I know, not a lot of people hate Tusk, but fuck you. I love Tusk. So I don't know. Lady Bird or Tusk is my favorite A24 film. And what's your favorite coming of age movie as well? Mine is Perks of Being a Wallflower, but yeah. All right, so please like, subscribe, comment, and hit the bell. And my next video will be my what I watched in January list, or yeah, what I watched in January. That will be my next video. So I'll see you then. That'll be this Thursday. All right, so I'll see you then. Peace. I mean, Gucci.